welcome to Life Guidance from Beyond. We're your hosts, Deborah Rogers, holistic occupational therapist, certified trauma specialist, and intuitive healer, and
Jenna Murthy, communications executive by day, and intuitive medium and spiritual coach by night. On our show, we'll be channeling wisdom from beyond to help you tackle the everyday challenges of being human.
So let's explore the wisdom beyond and find new ways to navigate life together.
Hi, I'm Jenna.
And I'm Deborah. Welcome to our episode 8 of Life Guidance from Beyond. And today what we're going to be talking about is the key to manifesting. Did you ever try to manifest something and wonder why is this not coming my way, or what could be getting in my way? So join us today because we're going to discuss 1 and 2 actually reasons why you might be having trouble manifesting. And we're going to learn how to change that around. And stay with us to the end of the episode, because then what we're going to do is we're going to guide you through an important meditation that's going to help you connect more deeply to the most important thing you need to manifest.
And if you like what you hear, don't forget to like this episode and subscribe to our podcast.
So I feel like so many people who manifest don't really touch upon that key ingredient of manifesting. So many classes teach about feeling it, thinking it, visualizing what you manifest, and then they're missing this key ingredient and wonder why we're not manifesting all the time what we want. And so that key ingredient is
self-worth.
Yes. So how would you explain what self-worth is? What does it mean to you?
Self-worth is a loaded term. It's self-acceptance, self-love, feeling valuable, having a self-respect, and really truly loving oneself.
Yeah.
Even with all our own flaws.
Yeah, I think that's important, realizing that, valuing yourself, realizing you're worthy, and you don't have to be perfect. Right? We all have flaws. That's being human.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And so the other part of manifesting too is the law of attraction, it can be called, right? Mm-hmm. Which kind of does tie into self-worth, because positive, negative energies attract similar energies, and we create our reality. So our thoughts and feelings, including what we believe about ourselves, creates our reality. So when we feel unworthy or unloved, unlovable, all those thoughts and beliefs tell our brain to kind of hone in on evidence that this is true. I am really unlovable. I am unworthy. So yes, we can still manifest, but maybe we aren't attracting what we're really wanting or needing in our life because of that, right?
What you think about, you bring about. It's really true. And the energy that we emanate comes back to us. Mm-hmm. So if we are trying to manifest something in our lives, say a new job, for example, but you don't really feel qualified underneath it all for the jobs that you're interviewing for, it's going to come across in your energy field, and the interviewer is inevitably going to pick up on that. Mm-hmm. So you have to consider your limiting beliefs about yourself and try to work through them to get to that self-acceptance and ultimately the self-worth. So you truly believe you're worthy of that new job that you are seeking. It's so important.
Yeah. Yeah, lack attracts lack, abundance attracts abundance.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And I think it's important to realize too, if you don't necessarily believe in frequency and vibration attractions, is that when you are feeling unworthy, all those thoughts and beliefs are literally creating neural pathways in your brain, where your brain is looking for evidence that confirms that, validates those beliefs. So, and it also, the self-worth also creates these, and I'm going to go into vibration frequency, but lower level emotions, right? That attract that same energy and that brings, again, the feeling lack attracts lack. And the opposite is true. Abundance attracts abundance of love. Abundance can be happiness. Abundance doesn't always have to be money, right?
Right. So I have a good story. Can I tell you?
Yes, please.
Okay. So when I was first learning about manifesting, I was listening to this podcast driving on my commute to work, and the woman on the podcast was saying you need to feel like it's already happened. You have to be in that energy of, I've received what I've asked for. So at the time, I really wanted an Acura MDX. It was a car of choice, and I wanted a red one. So as I'm driving to work that day listening to the podcast, I envisioned myself holding the Acura steering wheel, pretending to drive that very car. And then after, I went to work, whatever, kind of just, I had let it go. And a few days later, I received something in the mail. And this is where you need to also listen to your intuition after you've put out the request for what you want, right? So I pick up my mail, and there is a flyer for an Acura MDX, and it's not far from me. This is Acura dealer. So maybe I'll go. I go to the dealer. When I walk in, there is a red Acura MDX on the floor. And I was like, no. I was like kind of freaked out. But that's how powerful these thoughts can be, right?
Yeah.
So it's why it's so important to have positive thoughts so you can create this positive situation. And I also had asked for this particular model that I could more comfortably afford. It was not as expensive. And that was that model. So when I sat down with the dealer, he's like, yes, we don't usually have red in stock. It's we have very few of them. So it just felt like so magical.
Yeah.
And that I feel like those magical moments make life so much more fun.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah. And that was just really amazing to see how manifestation worked. It was like my own little experiment.
Yeah. And there's energy behind it. So I know it's not totally with manifesting, but I was telling you about working with my client today. And it kind of resonates with manifesting, I feel like, or our thoughts and beliefs and what we put out there. Because I was doing some cranial sacral on my client, and I was just holding her spine and feeling her spinal cord. And I'm like, hey, let's play with some words and just see what happens with your body, how your body reacts. So she said a word that brought her a feeling of calmness, and her body softened. And she felt it, and then I was almost like the biofeedback for her. So I'm like, oh my gosh, your muscles in your pelvis just softened. Then she thought of something that she was kind of fearful of, and she felt something like tighten up. I'm like, yep, I just felt like your spine kind of started feeling restricted again, and it shortened. So it's so amazing, like what we think affects our body, it affects everything around us, it affects our brain, it affects our whole environment, right? And what we bring towards us even, and what we emanate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important to be in tune with your thoughts, because we can have a lot of negative thoughts running through our minds. But if you're kind of in a mindful space and just touch base with your own thoughts periodically throughout the day, you can readjust them. If they're just a bunch of negative worries or concerns or stressors, you can make that choice to shift that thought and stop that and arrest them in the moment. And you can see your day shift in vibration as a result.
And even before we started this podcast, we were talking about how, even the word self-worth or self-love can be triggering to people, and it can cause a feeling of resistance. But resistance doesn't have to be seen or perceived as bad. It's just like this protective part of us, because it's afraid, maybe we're afraid of rejection, or maybe we're afraid of something else. Resistance is just showing that a part of us is trying to protect us because we're fearful of something. So, if self-worth or self-love, brings a feeling of resistance in you, just notice that with compassion.
Yeah.
And that's just some part of you trying to protect you. And you know why it's trying to protect you? Because you are worthy, right? There's a part of you that does believe, yes, you are worthy, and I need to protect this part of me because I do value myself, right? Yeah. So I don't think people think that, I don't feel worthy, but, I think maybe there is a part of you that does, and tap into that. And even that resistance can help you tap into it, because that resistance is just trying to protect you, because deep down there is a sense of worthiness and value.
Yeah. I like that.
Thanks, I just came up with that. So should we try to channel the all-knowing ones and kind of see what they have to say about self-worth?
Yeah, I would love that. That's
Okay.
cool.
All right, I'll just take a couple breaths. It's kind of hard when I have my dog in my lap. So I'm just setting the intention that I'm connecting to the all-knowing ones, the collective, and just asking for guidance and just in their words, what does self-worth mean? And I feel a shift. So I'm feeling laughter. We laugh at this word, this term of self-worth, feeling that there's a need to feel worthy. And we question, why is there this need to feel worthy and valuable when there's always this, the essence of you inside of you is worthy. It's almost like you feel like this part of you is fragmented, but deep down there is a wholeness of who you are. And what is fragmented more is you just haven't gone deep enough yet and learned how to connect to that essence of who you are. Because if you did, you would know there is self-worth. You are valuable, and it wouldn't even be a question. So it just shows how the human disconnection can be with the essence of who you truly are. And there's just layers upon layers of being human, right? There's layers of thoughts, layers of beliefs, layers of experiences, of trauma that the human needs to kind of peel away to reveal what's inside. But I invite you to know that despite all those things, all those layers that might feel very difficult to get through, what exists inside is that truth of who you are, where there is no need to question your self-worth. There is no need to question your value and your acceptance of yourself, because you just are. Right? You just are. You are from unconditional love. You are from so much more than what is just right here. So part of what you call manifesting is perhaps trying to just feel the essence, the spirit, the soul of you. And when you go into a memory perhaps that brings you this sense of love or gratitude or caring, or you go out into nature and you feel a connection, what you're doing is you're tapping into that essence of you. And then that is such a beautiful time where you can actually try to manifest, because you've not only raised your vibration to higher emotions of gratitude, love, connection, perhaps even oneness, but you're also connecting into the truth of you, into that self-worth, as you would call it, so that manifesting can be even more, there's more of a flow to it, right? You're not questioning as much subconsciously, am I worthy? Because you are in the moment, you're in the presence, in the now of joyfulness, of love, of oneness. So that can be a way to manifest and help you also connect to who you are, to your essence. Thank you.
So this reminds me of something I just learned. I was listening to a channel, of course, on YouTube, and she was saying that our vibration changes throughout our day, which makes complete sense. And so she's made it a self-practice to check in on every hour. How am I feeling? Am I anxious? Am I worried? And if so, she knows it's important to bring it back down to the heart center, just like you were just the all-knowing ones were just saying. And the way she does this, she has a smile file. She says baby animals, photos of baby animals are a natural way for humans to instantly go into that heart space. And she did mention that if you put your own animals or your family or something, that's not always unconditional love. And so therefore you might not get to that heart space. So don't put those photos in, put baby animals in. I actually have been testing this since I learned this, and it is remarkable. It is such a great coping mechanism, and it sounds like if I can get into this more often, it'll be in the flow, which the all-knowing ones were just saying.
Yeah.
And if I can be in that vibration more often and I can be conscious of what my thoughts are, I should be able to more easily bring in the things I'm trying to manifest.
I did send you some baby animals. Did you see those?
No,
No,
I'll have to look for them.
Instagram. So, what's interesting that you're saying that baby animals is because when I was just channeling, I had images of seeing like kids playing. Because I love like just watching kids playing and the innocence and the fun, and there's no care. They're just so in touch with who they are. There's a freedom. So that can be another thing, or even watching like grandkids or nieces and nephews or your own children playing can be. And I feel like it kind of like that idea of finding something that touches your heart, it gets through those layers, right? Of the thoughts, beliefs. We're not our thoughts, we're not our beliefs, we're not our experiences. Just like the unknowing ones are saying, like the essence, there's an essence in our core. It's like it's whole. It's separate from all these other influences. It's like perfect. It's perfection. It's love. It's unconditional love. So I think like the animals or whatever brings you, like going out in nature, whatever brings you to your heart center.
Shopping on Park Avenue?
There you go. Not for me. But yeah, it cuts through the layers and that raises your vibration, and it can get you out of your head of questioning self-worth and value and just going right
Help to bypass that a bit.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly.
It's a skill. I think that who knew you could develop it? To get to that more easily, more quickly, wouldn't life be more grand living from that perspective? Because it really does color your perception of life when you're in a good place versus a really stressed out place.
Yeah.
So this one of my personal goals is to work on that, to see if I can help shift my own reality a bit.
Yeah. And it kind of reminds me, this kind of connects with gratitude is, people talk about, I like doing gratitude in the morning, but people talk about when they feel more gratitude.
Yes.
It's, it's all of a sudden like, we talked about the brain earlier, the neural pathways change. The brain looks for something that is more on that same level of feeling of gratitude where you feel happier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And more things come to you. Things seem to flow better when you're feeling more positive, more happy.
So much better. Yeah. Totally agree. Yeah.
So let's go to the meditation that we're going to do for just bringing you into a self-worth guided meditation. So I invite you just to get comfortable, just settling in, taking a few deep breaths, maybe just exhaling out the day, closing your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And just letting your breath bring your awareness into you, not trying to change your breath, just allowing your breath to be your guide into your body. And as you breathe, just allow yourself to soften, surrender, settling into a space of stillness. This moment is about you and it's for you. And in this moment, we're going to make a commitment to honor the life within us and the journey we are on. We'll open ourselves up to ourselves and see our true self with love and compassion. So in your nose, and then just exhaling through your mouth or nose. And with each breath, inviting more relaxation, more ease, falling deeper inside yourself, connecting to your inner being. Just becoming present with the here and now of the moment. Inviting your mind and thoughts to just simply soften and relax as you bring your awareness back to your breath, feeling it, sensing it, experiencing it. And I invite you to call on a time where you put the need to be accepted aside and you chose instead to honor your own self-worth and inner truth. Even if you can bring back a memory where you really felt connected to yourself. You might have felt empowered. And not necessarily where you felt someone valued you, but where you felt you valued yourself. And just notice what this feels like for you. Just feeling a time when you allowed your true self to be expressed, where you were in touch with your true, authentic self, live in alignment with your true self, and how this feels now and how it felt then. And even notice how your body responds to this memory. And now call on a time, bringing a memory in when you were proud of yourself. What did you do or achieve to feel proud of yourself? And notice how that feels, how your body feels, that sense of pride. And then breathing deeply and slowly into your heart space. And if you'd like, you can do a heart hug where you place both hands over your heart and allow any moments or situations to arise where you felt judged, not accepted, or treated unfairly. Or even perhaps when you were judging yourself or putting yourself down. And just breathing through these feelings and allowing the emotions to surface. And offering in your heart just forgiveness for not knowing better. Forgiveness perhaps for letting others tell you how you should feel or you should be. Maybe forgiveness for allowing yourself to become disempowered by your thoughts, forgetting about your own personal power. And even if you don't feel a need of forgiveness, just perhaps comforting yourself, like it's okay, right? It's just all part of being human. We all make mistakes, we're all learning, and that's part of our life journey. And now, bringing your awareness back to the present moment, back to becoming present with yourself, and say to yourself, I am enough. I'm always been enough. And every experience I've ever had, no matter how painful, challenging, or unfair, I am stronger and more resilient because of them. I am kinder. I am more compassionate to others and myself. I am wiser. And my experiences facilitate the greatness of my own potential. And bringing your awareness to your breath again. And with the in-breath, breathing in self-love. Exhaling, release all that no longer serves you. Breathing in and telling yourself, I'm here, whole and complete. And breathing out, replacing any negative beliefs with new possibility, perhaps with just a sense of openness. Breathing in, reminding yourself, I am enough. I've always been enough. Breathing out, replacing old fears with new decisions or new ways of thinking and being. You are connected to your own personal power. That's always within you. Bathe in new possibility, resting in your own wisdom, resilience, and self-awareness. Breathing slowly and deeply. Just taking a few moments to ask yourself, just for today, how can I nurture myself? Just for today, how can I celebrate the authenticity, creativity, wisdom, and kindness within me? And listening for the answers, you say, just for today, how can I be patient with myself? And again, asking your inner self, just for today, how can I love and value and honor myself? And then ending again with enough. And I invite you even to say, I am more than enough. And then expanding your awareness to around you, to the room, opening your eyes when you're ready.
I think Daisy really enjoyed the meditation.
My dog fell asleep.
We're snoring. Good girl.
Well, thank you for joining us today. Again, please remember to like and subscribe. And I think for a closing, I'd love just to say like a quick metta, which is a loving kindness.
Ooh, fancy.
So you can repeat after me to yourself if you'd like, or just listen and take it in. May you know your divine self. May you know your worth. May you know the joy of self-love.
And so it is.
And so it is.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Take care, everyone. Until next time.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on Life Guidance from Beyond. We appreciate your listening. And don't forget to subscribe.